We are racing at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. It's Super Dirt Week 31, and this is the Eckerd 200. Race leader, the number 3 of Brett Hearn, and right behind him in second, he has won this race 3 of the last 4 years, Billy Decker.
Billy Decker trying to use slower traffic.
3.5 left.
Race scanner is on Billy Decker, the number 91 machine. I wouldn't think there's a whole lot of conversation because these drivers really have their hands full with this track.
You're clear. No damn well he knows we're there. Let's see if we can force him into making 1-2.
When he says, let's see if he can force him into making 1-2, that is a mistake. Let's see if they can get Brett Hearn to push up the speedway and give an opportunity for Billy Decker to get inside of him for the lead.
Boy might be top of this game, no more. 3 to the XXXI, 3.
Hearn leads. Decker right behind.
Boy, Decker got off the corner that time real well.
Let's go down to Mark Kenyon. Mark?
Earlier in the week, they had the Budweiser pit stop competition, and Brett Hearn's crew lost out to Billy Decker's crew. Decker's crew won that competition. Well, it may come down to separating these two cars. The pit stop may do it, and I can tell you right now, the Bud guys are going to be on their game, and the Decker guys are going to be on their game. These are two heavyweights slugging it out here in the mile, and now the crew's going to get involved. It's like a gang war.
Clear behind you. You are clear. Behind you. Outside.
There is
clear.
Decker way low on the front straightaway as he heads into turn 1.
In that pit crew competition, Billy Decker's team, all they had to do was change a right rear tire, get the car up, let it down, and go. 17.94 seconds.
My goodness.
Half a day to Horton.
0.6.
Half a day to Horton means about 3 seconds.
Sure does.
Boy, Frankie Caprara bobbled coming out of 4.
Frankie Caprara, the FX1 out of Watertown, New York.
We are coming up on the quarter point.
If there's a caution within the next 10 laps, I wouldn't be surprised, Doug, to start seeing cars coming down to pit lane. These guys definitely don't want a green flag pit stop because they would go down a lap. A lot of these guys right now starting to talk about pit strategy, what they're going to do, because we're starting to get close to the window.
Now, you might recall that before the race, Billy Decker said we're going to evaluate about 50 laps in and see what's going on, and we're there.
Billy Decker running his own race right now, trying to stay with Brett Hearn, but running his own race. His car is just as good as Hearn's at this point.
The fastest lap of the race thus far has been turned in by Steve Payne at 111.5 miles an hour. Jimmy Horton has the second fastest.
.32 times. They're turning right now. Track is considerably slower, as we mentioned earlier, off the pole speed.
Now, you might see a Hearn or a Decker turning a faster lap, but they're in lap traffic right now.
That's right.
And we do have a yellow on the racetrack. Car slowed in turn 2.
A.J. Romano in the number 16 machine out of Johnstown, New York. His brother Mike, a competitor as well, down at the Fonda Speedway. Their dad, Andy, a longtime competitor. Tough break for A.J.
All right, Shane. They've evaluated their pit stop strategy. What are they going to do?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think you're going to see Brett Hearn.
I don't think so either.
Billy Decker come in. You're going to see some cars come in, though, but I don't think you're going to see top 2 cars coming down pit road.
There's Dave Farney, our dirt official starter, as we are under yellow. This race started under yellow, and it's been green since. A lot of fast racing under testy conditions here at the New York State Fairgrounds. We're looking along the pit wall to see who might be coming in, and it does look like there will be a little bit of activity.
Doesn't look like there's too much activity in the Decker and Hearn pit area. They seem to just be biding their time, waiting to see what happens.
Caution flag out with 52 laps.
You likely wouldn't see a tire change from one of the leaders, so you look to see if anybody's manning a gas can, and no one is in the leaders' pits. Let's go down to Andy Fusco. Andy?
Well, Doug, I'm down here with a familiar and beloved face. Pastor David Wells, the chaplain of the dirt circuit. Pastor Wells, you're coming off some surgery, but you look pretty fit and surprised and pleased to see you here.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all the people for their prayers and concern. I had a 5-way bypass September 23rd, and last night was my first night, and we're here today, and I'll tell you, it's exciting, and God does hear and answer prayer.
Now, speaking of prayers, our prayers are out for one of the dirt's own, Roger Phelps. Give us an update on his situation.
Well, I understand that Roger Phelps was driving, felt pains in his chest, drove into a health clinic. He was suffering a heart attack. They've discovered a problem with his valve in the back of the heart, which is very hard to reach. So right now he's home under medication. So let's pray this problem can be taken care of and that Roger will have many years. He's a wonderful man and a great driver, and I'm sure we're going to see him back again next year.
Pastor Wells, you're a great man yourself. Glad to see you here in Syracuse. Get inside where it's warm, will you, buddy?
I'll agree with that. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great race.
All right, thank you. The best to you, Pastor Wells. Brett Hearn, Billy Decker, Jimmy Horton, the top three here at the New York State Fairgrounds. The top three, no, the top five, no way. Not into the pits, but there was some activity.
Sure was. 10 cars took the opportunity to come down pit road. Steve Payne in the number 7 X machine, Bobby Varon, Jack Johnson, Kenny Tremont. Didn't get to see, and I'd be interested to know if the Tremont team did switch that helmet. Andy Bicchetti, Pat Ward, Jeff Trombley, Dale Blaney also taking the opportunity to come down pit lane.
Just to top off the tank.
Top off the tank, take a look at the right rear tire, see how tire wear is on the cars.
But not change.
Not yet.
And we're set to go back to green flag racing. Brett Hearn fires, and he will have a clean racetrack ahead of him. Let's see what kind of times he can turn in.
Some of these guys that came down the pit road on lap number 53, going to be interesting to see, Doug. Maybe a little strategy going for that $10,000 halfway bonus.
As we get closer to that point, we'll talk about it, but no one has ever won that bonus and went on to win the race.
That's right. Dave Blaney was the closest. He won the bonus, but came up short, finished second.
He thrilled us, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And his brother Dale, no slouch behind the wheel either.
Nope. And Hearn pulls away from Billy Decker by about a second and a half. That last lap, just going green, was 111 miles an hour, 32.4.
Good battle right here. Scott Prentice in the 47, Steve Poirier in the number 28 machine. That's the battle for 5th and 6th, and you have Timmy McCready there in 7th.
And Bauer got by Prentice, so it's Hearn, Decker, Horton, Bauer, and Prentice, the top 5. Almost 112 miles an hour for Brett Hearn that last circuit. There's Jimmy Horton in the 99.
That's Frankie Caprera right behind him. Frankie is a lap down to the leaders.
You know, Horton's a two-time winner. His deal kind of came together late, as we spoke to earlier. But You know, he's just a guy that is so ready to step into any situation and go fast.
Well, Jimmy Horton is the consummate professional. He's raced in Winston Cup. He's raced in ARCA. Had an incredible streak in the ARCA series. I believe 5 wins in a row. He knows his way around the big tracks. He knows his way around the mile. A 2-time winner. And to come to Syracuse with a new team, no surprise to see him running up front because of his experience.
Pettis, Poirier, and McCready, as the speeds continue to climb. Man, a little bit out of whack there.
Looked like somebody had a little smoke coming off their car.
Timmy?
Looks like it's Scotty Prentice in the 47. Now remember, they just got that motor back today in the Benwood Auto Parts machine.
Let's go down to Andy Fusco.
Thanks, Doug. I'm down here in Kenny Tremont's pit. Talking about the last pit stops, for Steve Payne, it was just gas and go. But here, Kenny Tremont did change the right rear. I just looked at it in the truck. Not much wear at all. It is slightly cupped, but it is hot, about 210 degrees. Doesn't look like tire wear will be that much of a problem, given the fact the temperature's going down.
You wouldn't think it would be, would you?
Not yet, no, not at all. The temperature, the humidity level was very high here at the racetrack. And as Mark Kenyon always alluded to, the higher the humidity, the less tire wear you would have.
There's a look at 115 of Kenny Tremont. He's got a win here in Syracuse under his belt.
Tremont back in the 30th position in the American Associates, number 115. His dad, Ken Tremont Sr., doing the motors underneath the hood of that car.
Leader continues to be Brett Hearn by about 1.5 seconds over Billy Decker. Jimmy Horton is second. Bauer is third. Bauer fourth. Prentice fifth. Poirier sixth. McCready seventh. Tim McCready. And Doug Hoffman, Danny Johnson, and Billy Pouch rounding out the top 10 as we're 63 laps in.
And look at this battle. Scotty Prentice has his hands full right now as he sits in position number 5, as he's got Steve Poirier, Tim McCready, Doug Hoffman right there in the Dieter Schmidt-owned number 5 machine.
Let's go down to the pits. Mark Kenyon standing by.
I feel like the weatherman down here. The wind just shifted to the west, and there's a little clearing to the west, but directly above us, it's a black cloud. And I think that black cloud is keeping a lot of cars on the speedway right now because they're not sure if it's going to rain or not. And there's only 3 things important right now in the race. That's track position, and track position.
I'm not sure why you'd pit now anyway.
Right. Some guys came in, they were running in the mid to the back of the pack, wanted to top off just in case the leaders did decide to come in. But if there is that cloud, like Mark alluded to, over the speedway and the possibility of rain, over 101 laps as this race is halfway, so anything can happen.
Tim McCready started 10th. He's running 7th and hanging in there. Poirier is getting to like this Moody mile. He recorded his best Syracuse finish ever. The best ever by a French-Canadian driver. Labor Day, he finished 5th.
And last year in the 358 modified race, he was the rookie of the year. So he's really taken a liking to the Syracuse mile. A lot of drivers don't like to say that, but Steve Poirier seems to feel comfortable here at the track.
The leader is the corporate jet, Brett Hearn, out of Sussex, New Jersey. 5-time winner looking for win number 6 here at the Moody Mile. This is Rush Hour and the Eckerd 200.